Now, after the first half of that game, I put a post on social media suggesting that Liverpool couldn't keep getting away with the fact that they seemingly keep giving up the first half of every game to the opposition. But apparently, yes, they can, because they've just come from behind to beat Brighton 2-1 here at Anfield, a win that takes them top of the Premier League. And I have to say that second half was an absolute masterclass from Arne Slot. Now, I say that because the first half, I thought Brighton were really on top. They kind of dominated the game, really, and I'm not entirely sure exactly of what tactical element wasn't working for Liverpool and what they kind of solved in the second half. I will have to watch the game back to really analyse that and have a look, but I think one of the things that Liverpool couldn't seemingly get to grips with was the fact that Brighton's two kind of holding midfielders were basically taking turns to drop in amongst the centre halves. They weren't tracking them then, and then they always had an extra man to pass the way through, and they were just finding it so easy to get at Liverpool's back line over and over again. And as I say, in that first half, Liverpool never really got to grips with that, and the statistics bear that out. I mean, the first half ends with Liverpool 1 shot on target, Brighton have 4 shots on target. Expected goals is 0.71 for Liverpool, 0.78 for Brighton. Although Liverpool's was primarily made up of set piece efforts, they had a bit of chaos in the box at times, but they weren't really creating or playing through Brighton at all in that first half. And as I say, those statistics really bear out that Brighton were the dominant force. They looked like they were going to score, and then they did score, and then they kept it up really for the remainder of the half. And so, as I say, that kind of forced me to tweet, or I felt compelled to tweet that that's been a bit of a theme for Liverpool recently. Think about the game against Chelsea, think about the game against Arsenal. There was a tactical plan there, a tactical trap, and Liverpool kind of fell into it, and that is exactly what happened here. And as I say, I thought kind of unsustainable, but it is sustainable if your manager keeps coming up with ways around it, and I thought he absolutely did that. As I say, not entirely sure what was tweaked, it wasn't very obvious, but Liverpool had a lot more control in that second half, and again the statistics kind of bear that out. 7-1 in Liverpool's favour for shots on target, 0.89 XG for Liverpool, 0.22 for Brighton, and as I say, a 2-1 win. And although I'll have a look back and try and work out exactly tactically what Liverpool tweaked, I think one of the things that they did tweak was just to get more intensity in the game. Liverpool was so much quicker out the blocks in that second half. They were snapping into challenges, and sometimes football, it might not even be a tactical tweak. It can sometimes just be about that extra bit of physicality, about winning your duels all over the pitch, and that is really important part of football. And that certainly, even if there was a tactical tweak, was as important as anything that Liverpool did. And for Arne Slot to get that into his players is really impressive, because they clearly took his words on board. And as I say, vital that they did that, not only because Manchester City and Arsenal have dropped points today, and so this is a result that sends Liverpool top of the league and also quite clear of Arsenal, so massive on that front. But I also felt like it was a huge day for Arne Slot as well, really, in terms of not just showing us how good a manager is in terms of turning things around. We've seen that from time to time so far this season, but also his relationship with Anfield. Now, we've heard a bit of early criticism, and I've seen it on social media at times, that this style of football, maybe this more passive style of football, it doesn't suit Anfield. It's the fans can't get behind it. They're so used to Jurgen Klopp being getting the crowd up and it all being about that. And can Liverpool fans get excited about the style of football? Well, they certainly seemed excited about what they were seeing in the second half here, because as I say, that intensity was upped and the crowd just went with it. The atmosphere was absolutely incredible in the second half here, and the two things came together as they always have throughout Liverpool's history. And I think that's kind of one of the first times we've really seen that under Arne Slot, is the crowd and the manager's tactics and the team all working together as they did so successfully under Jurgen Klopp. So as I say, it kind of felt like a big moment for Slot in terms of improving that to the crowd, and he got such a huge ovation from the Kop at the end of the game. No fist pumps, of course, but he got a huge ovation, a huge roar from the Kop at the end, and it shows that yes, under this manager there is a bit more control at times, and they do want to play some more slightly sober football, but he can also bring that intensity. He can also bring wave after wave of attack, which is what Liverpool were doing, and he can also come from behind and win a game, as Jurgen Klopp did on many occasions, using the power of Anfield. So I just felt a hugely significant day for the manager here, and a significant day for Liverpool, of course. Now, the one downside I will mention is, I don't think I was entirely wrong to say that at half-time. I do think he'll want the first half to be better. He won't want to keep falling into those tactical traps, and he will want his side to be the ones who are imposing themselves in the first half and the starter games, and that hasn't happened a lot recently. But for the short term, he'll be absolutely delighted with what he's seen today, and rightly so. A phenomenal second half performance in Liverpool, and they deserve to be winners today, and they also deserve to be top of the league. And we might be looking at a title challenge this season. I think we can confidently say that at this point of the season. Now, as usual, I'm going to go into some individual performances today, and to be honest, there's too many to list here, so I've had to pick out a few. I mean, first half, nobody really played well, but as I say, when that happens, that is a tactical issue. You don't tend to have 11 players playing poorly. It tends to be the tactics not being right. But once they were given the platform and things sorted themselves out in the second half, so much better across the pitch. Now, I'm going to start actually with a guy who only came on at half time, and that is, of course, Joe Gomez. Now, when Ibrahima Konate goes off and Liverpool are 1-0 down, and they've been up against it a little bit, been through the ringer, you're a little bit worried about that substitution, I have to say, but Joe Gomez was absolutely phenomenal. I mean, he's only on for a half, and I gave him man of the match in my ratings. That's how good I thought he was. I mean, wins 4 out of 4 duels, 100% of his tackles, even has 2 shots. He kept popping up in the opposition box, so close to that first ever goal for Liverpool, but unfortunately didn't get that. But I just thought he kept going up against Danny Welbeck, who was trying his best to avoid Van Dijk. I can talk more quietly now because the lawnmowers have gone, thankfully. He kept being thrown up against Danny Welbeck, who, of course, for obvious reasons, was avoiding Virgil van Dijk, but he seemed to win every battle in that second half, kept getting Liverpool on the front foot, and also because he kind of used to playing right back a lot as well. Because Liverpool were trying to push Trent more central in the second half to give them a little bit more control and better numbers in that central area. You have Joe Gomez there, who's ostensibly centre half, but he can play right back, and when he was getting dragged out into those areas, looked really solid and secure. And I thought, it wasn't a substitution that the manager intended to make, but it absolutely worked out for Liverpool. As I say, I gave him man of the match, and I thought it was just a perfect performance from him. And we'll see what happens with Ibrahima Konate's injury, but if Joe Gomez has to play a few games, you're not worried about him on the basis of this performance. Absolutely superb. Another substitute I want to mention is Curtis Jones. Again, I thought he brought much needed physicality in the centre of the pitch. He only makes 10 passes, but he completes all 10, and then when Liverpool get themselves ahead, he's ratting, he's running around trying to press, using that physicality that he's got, and I thought his presence was really important. He also plays a key role with a few passes in the build up to Salah's goal as well, so really impactful substitute performance, which is exactly what you want when you're bringing people off the bench. Really good from Curtis Jones again. I want to mention Salah as well, particularly in that second half. Thought he was absolutely brilliant once he started to get the ball to him a little bit more often. His goal is out of this world. They've seen it so many times now where he cracks it into the top corner almost effortlessly, but everything else, I mean, 3 shots, and I thought in that second half he just gave Estupiñán nightmares. It was so many times he got locked in kind of wrestling battles down on this touchline near me because Estupiñán just couldn't get around Salah to nick the ball, and every dribble he seemed to be getting past him and just giving him nightmares. Made it really difficult, and he was a huge factor in Liverpool turning things around in that second half. And I sometimes don't mention Salah because you're so blasé about how good he is, but he deserves a mention today. I thought he was absolutely brilliant and key for Liverpool. And another person I want to mention as well is Trent Alexander-Arnold. I thought not his best game with the ball, and some really bad giveaways actually in the first half, but he wasn't the only one guilty of that. But in the second half, his defending was again out of this world. I thought, he really did lock down Matoma down that side. He tried to bring on a Dingra towards the end, and again did really well. It helped that he had Conor Bradley come on late as well to help lock down that flank. But he wins 12 out of 16 ground duels, which for a defender who I'm told can't defend is pretty phenomenal, to be honest. Really cool in possession at times as well, kind of jinking past people, but just those so many moments where he nicks in and gives away a corner or gives away a throw-in, but just stops a dangerous winger charging into the box. Thought, he doesn't get enough credit for his defensive work, and I've highlighted it several times so far this season, but really good again today in that, up against a really dangerous Brighton side who've got really good wingers. So yeah, I thought a phenomenal performance from him on the defensive front. I haven't even mentioned, by the way, Ryan Gravenberch, who I thought was excellent again particularly second half. Kostas Tsimikas, who locked down his flank and did really well again. Genuine competition for Robertson. Gakpo, who gets the crucial goal with a really dangerous cross that kind of just nicks in at the far post. But there was so many great performances in that second half. Liverpool were just all over Brighton, and they absolutely deserved to come away winners. So really impressive second half. And yes, they'll want to sort that first half. I've absolutely no doubts about that. But and that second half and the strength of it and the importance of a win on a day when so many, it's 2 of the rivals have both dropped points against sides who they should be beating. It shows you it's difficult in the Premier League, and so to come out with 3 points feels really massive. And as I say, the one thing I want to come back to when I'm talking about individual performances, and just to kind of wrap things up as well, is the individual performance of the manager. As I said, he obviously gave the players the right words, the right instructions at half time, and they absolutely performed and played that out. And I think it's just been a ridiculous start. He's hurdled every challenge that's been thrown in front of him so far, and you just really have to praise that. I mean, as I say, I want more in those first halves, and I'm sure that's the next step for Liverpool, is to be better there and be more dominant in those in that part of the game. But he just keeps passing the test, he just keeps winning, and Liverpool are top of the league, and they've got a little cushion now to Arsenal and a cushion to Manchester City as well, which, you know, anyone who would have said that to me at the start of the season, that after these fixtures Liverpool would be here, I would have said was a massive optimist, to be honest, when you have that change in the dugout and you lose someone like Jurgen Klopp. So just an absolutely massive day for Liverpool, massive start to the season, and so excited to see what's to come. There are, of course, two big games on the horizon as well, Bayer Leverkusen and Aston Villa, so really looking forward to those next challenges as well, and seeing how Liverpool get on. It's a really, really exciting time, I think. So I'm going to wrap it up there anyway. As ever, if you can like and subscribe, really do appreciate that, and let me know in the comments what you thought about this performance. Not great in the first half, absolutely brilliant in the second half, and a really great day for Liverpool. So really want to hear your thoughts about that one. I'm going to wrap it up there, and I'll say, as ever, I'll see you guys very soon.